Okay, hello amateurs. Welcome to Hot Topics from the Amateur Rugby Podcast, recording via Facebook Live on Tuesday, 6th of October 2020. And I'm proud to say that this episode of the podcast is sponsored by Raging Bull. Raging Bull are a British clothing brand that was founded by England Rugby World Cup winner Phil Vickery in Gloucestershire. And I'm happy about that because that's the county where I was born and bred. Raging Bull put an emphasis on contemporary but wearable clothing with the entire range available in sizes small to 6XL. So there's something there to fit absolutely everybody. Listen to this podcast, that's you, can now get 10% off their order at ragingbull.co.uk when you enter the code ARP10 at checkout. That's 10% off your entire order at ragingbull.co.uk when you enter the code ARP10 at checkout. And there's still a sale on it there at the moment, guys, so get over there and grab some bargains. Okay, on with the show, and our guest is ready there and waiting. So, without further ado, mystery guest. Are you there, mate?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, nice and slow reveal this time. Love that.
Oh.
Who's that, mate?
That's my little sausage dog, Stuart.
Okay, nice. And this is Andrew Henderson, everybody. Hendo, why don't you give everybody a quick, brief introduction?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, as Tim said, Hendo in rugby circles. Andrew Henderson. I met Tim when I was playing at Ealing. One of the, I won't say old boys, but one of the best props I've played with for some time. And I'm at the back end of my playing career now as well. I was actually a youngster when Tim was sort of getting to his latter years of his career. But yeah, fortunate enough to meet him through rugby, and first time we've connected in a while, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, it's been a little while now. So it's this kind of the time of the season when obviously players are retiring from the game, and quite a lot of people then go on into some kind of post-rugby sort of physical challenge world, which is what we're here to talk about initially. But before we get into that, let's have a little talk about that time at Ealing. You know, it was a great year that we had that year. I would just like to hear your sort of reflections on it.
Yeah, I mean, Ealing's definitely one of my fondest sort of rugby memories. I think it comes with both good and bad. You were there for the good. I'm not sure you were there for the bad, were you, the season after?
No.
So we went up from National 1. I think Ealing had a sort of meteoric rise. They were fortunate enough to have a backer that put some money behind them. And they had a fairly quick rise through the sort of national leagues and got into National 1, teetered with the championship for a couple of years. And then the year we were there, we managed to actually get promoted top of the league. So that was good times. I'll never, ever forget Blaydon at home when Shires had to get taken off with pneumonia, I think, or something similar. And the game should never, ever been on. But that beating them that day at home was pretty much when we were sort of in the run-in to sealing our sort of fate as title winners, which was one of the great rugby memories of my time for sure. And then, like I said, the season after that replaced a load of the good sort of older boys that got us to where we needed to be. Brought in a lot of sort of younger, hot prospects, but unfortunately didn't have that team cohesion for the first. I think it was 10 games we went without a win in a league season, which is, as you know, is a long time. And it got to not Christmas time quite, but I think we were sort of November time. We managed to get our first win over in Jersey, which was another one of my old teams. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah, after that it was good. Everyone bought into it, and after Christmas we had a little run and actually nearly stayed up. But yeah, definitely the sort of pinnacle and the most enjoyable time was the year that you were there, and that's probably why it was the most enjoyable time.
Yeah, it probably was. Let's just say it was, Let's say it was. And you mentioned before we haven't seen each other too much since, really, but we did bizarrely meet up on the set of a TV advert. So maybe you'd like to say a bit about that as well.
Yeah, that was. I think that was a McDonald's one for the Six Nations, wasn't it? I still can't. I don't really know how I got involved in that, but managed to skive off work for a couple of days because the money they were offering was quite generous for what it was. We got fed, we got bathed, we got watered, but I do also remember that being bloody freezing. I think was it in March time?
Yeah, I think so.
Or February, and it was so cold, and just the waiting around rather than in rugby where you used to sort of running around a bit, almost being too hot, overheating. Those 2 days were savagely cold. But having you there definitely made it easier. The other person I'll never forget.
Well, they were for you, mate.
It was a character. Oh, sorry, I lost you then.
It's okay. Go on. Carry on. Yeah.
Sorry, mate, I lost you then a second, I think. The other person I'll remember from those days was old Paulo Lima. Absolute larger-than-life character that just brought every boy protein bars and was everyone's best mate after that.
Yeah, he was a legend. I was going to say, it was cold for you guys because you got all the playing roles. But by that stage, obviously, I had moved into the coaching realm. So I was dressed up in like a tracksuit. I had a hat on. And I was still cold, though. So God knows what it was like for you guys.
So I just need to get the old shaved head on the go and put on a couple of pounds, and I could have had a coat for the day.
Yeah, a couple. Okay, so we're here really to talk about post-rugby challenges. I've definitely done it since I've retired. I've done all kind of silly things like do marathons and Ironman challenges, and even a double marathon actually.
Awesome.
And we're just interested in like what it is about rugby players because it seems to be quite a few people go into this kind of thing post-playing. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think with rugby, because you're always in an environment where you're training, and even if it's semi-pro, amateur, you're pretty much expected to be somewhere every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for 30 weeks, probably more like 40 weeks of a 53-week year. So it's kind of something that you become accustomed to. Training becomes sort of part of your routine, part of your lifestyle. And I guess after you don't have that anymore, it's sort of about potentially filling that void. I mean, I know I am actually still playing over at Cambridge, but I am definitely on the back end and probably in my last year, if it ever kicks off. But after that, there'll definitely be some... Oh, even through lockdown, I've sort of not struggled, but I've come to the point where I'm like, well, what do I do now? And I think that's a big thing for those lads that have been part of that sort of team environment, that routine where you know exactly what you're doing every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Play with your mates, have a good time, but sort of have a few beers afterwards, but earn them as well. So yeah, I guess that comes as part and parcel. And then once you don't have that competitive environment anymore, you still want to be a competitor because it's sort of in your DNA. And I guess that's why people go into the more individual challenges, because unfortunately not everyone gets to be in part of a team for the entire life. So unless it's coaching, I don't know what you go into to keep involved in that side of it.
Well, you say coaching, but even with coaching, you don't really feel it's nothing like the same as being one of the players. Nothing like the same. You know, you've got your own little coaching team and you're part of the bigger thing, but it's nothing like being the same. But I agree with what you said about, that routine of exercise and that being important. I think for me as well, just trying to drive towards a goal and having that regular commitment to try and achieve something, I found really important and really sort of motivational, I guess, moving forward.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's been a few like ridiculous things that rugby players have been doing. Some of the top level guys. This is one that hasn't happened yet, but Shane Williams is due to do this challenge called the Beast, and it sees him run. He's got to run 465 miles in 30 days, right? Which sounds tough. And it is tough. I'm sure that would be tough. But the way they've got to do it is on day 1, he runs 1 mile. Day 2, 2 miles. Day 3, 3 miles. All the way up to day 30, 30 miles. Which I can't imagine how tough that's going to be towards the end.
No. I'm going to tell you, from someone that's doing a bit of running, that he's going to need a new set of calves afterwards. Crikey.
It's absolutely obscene. And another one that's happened recently, Ed Jackson, who... tragically broke his neck, but has made a phenomenal recovery. Climbed Everest on his parents' staircase.
Stairs,
which is like another ridiculous thing. It took him 4 days.
Yeah.
And the last example I've got, which is possibly the most extreme of all, is Richard Parkes, the Welsh flanker, who climbed the 7 highest summits in the world, the one on each continent, and went to each pole as well. Did that all in 7 months. Another ridiculous challenge.
Yeah, phenomenal effort that.
Yeah.
Do you know Clayton as well? Do you know Adam Clayton? Did you play at Old Attainers with Adam Clayton?
No, I know him, but I never played with him.
He did a 24-hour cycle. That was pretty mad. And then two other lads, Alex Grove and Richard Boyle, who you may have come across in the sort of national leagues. They've just swum the channel through lockdown as well, which I have so much respect for, and I don't think I could ever do that. I'm not a strong swimmer, never will be. And the head game to be in the water for 13 hours is like fair play.
Yeah, those swimming challenges are not for me. I'm sort of
Land
on
man.
the top. Yeah, very heavy legged. I just drag myself through the water. But you're going to do a challenge as well, Hendo. So let's hear a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Tell me all about it, how it came about, what you're doing it for, all of those kind of details.
So I guess it ties into what you're saying. I guess through rugby as well, because you have those routine and that regimented structure, there's certain things that you actually don't get to do whilst you're playing. And in this instance, for me, it's a longer distance sort of endurance event. And I saw, like you did, through lockdown, there was some crazy people doing some crazy things. I know Ed as well, so I saw that happen. And then another guy, Fergus Crawley, something like a 500-pound or over a 500-pound squat, under a 5-minute mile, and then run a marathon in the same day. And I was like, right, these lads are challenging themselves physically and mentally. And it's something that I've always wanted to do, and then never, I don't know whether it's mental or I've had some sort of block that's never actually allowed me to do it. And with it being that rugby is less of a feature in my life than it used to be, and also with lockdown meaning there is no rugby, I've had a chance to actually like reflect and view these guys and these wonderful people doing awesome things. And I was like, right, what can I do? And actually commit to it and get it done. So I'm not very good at many things, but one thing I kind of I back myself on, is going through sort of endurance and then going through that other side where the mental side of it really kicks in. And I think that I'll be all right doing what I'm doing, but we'll see. So I was like, right, these lads have done something mental. What can I do? Well, I've spent a lot of time in the gym over the years, and I've come up with this idea of what I'm calling a gymathon, where I row a marathon, cycle. So I'm going row, cycle, then run, and then finish on the cross trainer. So doing 4 marathon distances within a day. I wanted to do it within 12 hours. I'm now thinking after 3 weeks training that might not happen. But yeah. And the reason, my why is the most important thing. It's a very close friend of mine who you played with at Ealing as well. Same as Ed, had an unfortunate accident, broke his neck, quadriplegic. And the RFU IPF did phenomenal things for him when it first happened. So I'm looking at raising awareness and raising some funds for them to do this. And I think that all of these charities have had such a hard run through lockdown, not being able to run their normal events. But then, like I said, these wonderful people have sort of come up with other ways of raising money. So I'm hoping that I can raise a good chunk for them whilst doing this through my sort of contacts within the rugby world and outside of the rugby world, actually. It's been quite well received sort of throughout. So it's good, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to go back to something you said then about being, back yourself about being a trainer. There's 2 things I remember about you really from Ealing. One was that you're a phenomenal trainer, but 2, that you really enjoyed the beers afterwards and were pretty good at that. So it's just but it was a good balance.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I think it's safe to say I've enjoyed a beer or 2 over my time. Definitely not as much now as I used to. Every time I drink now, I seem to regret it more and more because I can't do it like I used to do it. But yeah, Ealing, there was definitely some times when we would come in on a Saturday for a training session and I'd be a bit blurry-eyed. But that's what I mean. You've got to get on with it, haven't you? And that's hopefully what will carry me through this event. Just get on with it, get your head down and push through.
So how is the training going? What's been the hardest part so far?
I think the row is going to be the hardest thing on the day. However, after I managed to get a half marathon. Well, I did 25k on Saturday. But after that, my calves are in pieces. I still haven't got them back now. So it's like, I don't mind the distance with running, and mentally I was okay, and my lungs were okay. But the actual physical side, what it was in the wet, to be fair as well. My feet were rubbing, right, and my calves were feeling like someone was stabbing them with a little pinprick every time I hit the ground. So I saw you did a half marathon the other day as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
How were your calves in that? Because you got a lot more weight to carry around than I have.
Yeah, probably about double. But I'm pretty well conditioned to it now. So I've been running quite a bit. So actually, I don't really suffer too badly. I really don't.
I do. I guess it's because I've not left myself with a lot of time. because again, it was one of those things where I sort of off the cuff spoke to Victoria, my partner, and I was like, right, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to finally.
Just lost you for a second there, mate.
Sorry, mate. I'm not sure what happened.
You're back. Yep. It's okay. No worries. Hendo's gone again. Hopefully we'll be back in a second. Probably a few Wi-Fi issues going on here. Guessing he's going to come and rejoin us in a second. But yeah, as he was saying there, this idea of running long distances, if you're not conditioned to it, and especially as he was, which was more... Hello, mate. You're back. Yeah, I was just doing a bit of... Mate. It's okay, mate. No dramas. I was just saying how that if you're not conditioned to doing long distances, then it can be a real strain, because it's very different to what you're generally conditioned for, which is much more sprint orientated. Yeah. It's a very different thing. But you're going to be doing it on the treadmill, right? So that will probably make it less of an issue.
Yeah, hopefully that's definitely less impact than the ground outside. But something needs to change. I don't know. I've got a new foam roller, so I'm hoping that's going to help me out. But yeah, do you wear those compression socks? Are they any good?
I have done, and I feel like they definitely helped. Yeah, I don't wear them all the time now, but I feel like they definitely did help in the past for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I need to get into. I think I guess I haven't done a lot of exploring, because I signed up to sort of do this quite quickly, without thinking really. No gear, no idea. But we'll get there. It'll be all right.
So
Adrenaline's a wonderful thing.
When is the big day?
7th of November.
A month away.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Like, you're confident you'll finish, right? That's not going to be a problem. But how painful do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to take me to a place that I've never had to go to before. I've been in some fairly dark places, like you say, whether it be from having a few too many tipples on a Saturday or Friday, and then playing on a Saturday.
Yeah, you're back, mate, I think.
Sorry, mate. I'm really not sure what's going on. Whether it's for you having too many tipples on a Saturday and then having to Friday and backing it up on a Saturday, or in the fitness test at the start of the season. But I've never ever gone anything like what I'm doing with this. So, in fact, I've never actually run a marathon.
Right.
So it is.
Well, not many people have, to be honest, mate. You'll be in the minority still when you've done it.
Yeah. So we shall see how we get on. But in my head, I can do it. So I'm hoping that will carry me through. I've got some mates coming on the day as well, all coronavirus rules permitting, and I'm doing it in the lads' gym. Who I'm doing it not for, but doing the charity for who helped him. So that will mean a lot to him, and I know that he goes through a lot of pain every day. So I'll remember that when I'm going through the mill. Yeah,
which is the charity that you're doing it for?
So it's called the IPF, which is the RFU Injured Players Foundation. They actually helped Ed as well, Ed Jackson, who you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And to the chap that I know well, and you. Hello?
Hello, mate. Yeah, can hear you, can't see you.
Let's try. Sorry, mate.
It's okay.
I don't know how to get the camera says it's on, but it's not coming back on.
Okay, don't worry. Stay as you are then and just chat. Okay, we're almost done anyway, I think.
Okay, cool. I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, the lad who we're doing it, or the charity we're doing it for, helped the lad immensely. And I mean, like, helped him, helped his family, paid for train tickets for his partner and his sisters to go and visit him when he was in hospital. So I know that it's going to a good cause, and that makes a huge difference to me, because there's a lot of charities that you don't know a lot about, right? And I'm not saying any of them are bad, good, or indifferent, but it always means more when you're doing something, I think, that you know it's going to a good cause, and what they've done was for people that you actually know. makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, mate. Well, listen, best of luck with it.
Thanks.
If people want to help or people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way that they can do that?
Well, there is a Just Giving page. I think I've sent you the link, so I don't know if you can get that out on the podcast. That'd be really helpful.
Yeah, I'll link that in the show notes below, everybody. It'll be in the comments below, so go and look at that.
Fantastic. And then the Instagram account I'm sort of doing all the training on is Victoria and I's account, which is Rise Up Wellness Lifestyle, or at Rise Up Wellness Lifestyle on Instagram. So yeah, that's the main two channels. Obviously, I'm on Facebook as well. I wouldn't even know the URL for that, so can't help
it's okay.
that one. But
I'll link it all in the notes below so people can get hold of you if they want to, and definitely go and help and chip in for this ridiculous and spectacular, frankly, bait challenge that you're doing. So have you got any final thoughts about that?
Just anyone that can donate, please donate. I know times are hard, and it's even harder for these charities that can't do their normal stuff. So yeah, anything that you can give, whether it's a penny or a pound or tenner, just please do so. I'll try and rope Tim in on the day so we can get him in the live cast. He might be able to jump in for a shift on a run or on a bike or something. So
yes, we should definitely do that, mate. We should definitely do that.
But yeah, good luck to myself, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we always finish with one final question. Hendo, what would you, as a rugby player or supporter, like for Christmas?
I would like to see everything go back to bloody normal. I would like people to be able to go and watch a game if they want to watch a game. I would like people to be able to go and see their families, whether they're in Spain, France, Portugal, in your instance, or otherwise. And just, get rid of this pesky thing that the government seem to not want to go back to normal life because of. Yeah,
amen. Okay, mate, well, thank you very much. And thank you out there for listening. I very much appreciate you tuning in, as always. And if you've enjoyed it, help spread the word. Tell your mates. That's always the best way of finding out about podcasts, I believe. And get on the social channels as well. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just search for the Amateur Rugby Podcast on all of those channels. And remember that this show was brought to you by Raging Bull, and you can get 10% off at ragingbull.co.uk with code ARP10 at checkout. And if you're doing your own, some kind of challenge, physical challenge, fitness challenge, whatever it is, I'd love to hear about it as well. So either you can put all that in the comments below as well. It'd be great to hear from you. And last but not least, within the restrictions, however best you can do it, get out and play.